What's up, my peeps? Time for a brand new Supercard video, obviously from the title, and this one's all about Season 3. So, as y'all know by now, it's coming out soon. It's coming out in November, so anytime now, for those of you who stopped playing Season 2 with the expectation that we were starting over in Season 3, sorry about that, but we're not starting over. We're actually starting where we're from. I know a bunch of people that took breaks thinking that, hey, Season 3 is coming out soon, so we're all going to restart anyways. And now they've got a lot of catching up to do. But anyways, that's not what the video's about. So they've announced a bunch of new features. And we've got the Royal Rumble mode, we've got the Wildcard mode, as well as some new tiers and some new cards. And that's what I want to focus on in this video, the cards themselves, the main portion of the game. I mean, it's called Supercard after all. So since the game got released, we've had some cool cards, some cool looking cards, and then some not so cool looking cards. And obviously, there's two things that make up a cool-looking card. The card design itself, which surrounds the picture of the wrestler, and the picture of the superstar. And in Season 2, what I feel really lacks is some good-looking pictures for the superstars. There's some cool card designs out there. I actually think that Season 2 has some better card designs than Season 1. For instance, when we compare legendary cards from Season 1 to Season 2, I feel Season 2 easily beats out the Season 1 look of legendary cards. But obviously this doesn't apply to all the tiers. But anyways, I'm about to show you guys a bunch of different card designs, variations, and ideas that'd be great for Season 3, and show you just how cool cards could look like in a game like Supercard. So let's start it off with one of the guys that I feel doesn't really have the best pictures in Season 2 of Supercard, and that's Cesaro. Personally, I don't really like any of the pictures that Cesaro has in Season 2 of Supercard. Actually, I feel Season 1 maybe had some better Cesaro pictures in there, and even the latest SummerSlam Cesaro picture isn't really an updated one. At the moment, he doesn't wear the towel over his head, and he actually wears a suit. So what I'm suggesting is that for Season 3, they go out and put out a badass Cesaro picture, a badass Cesaro card like this one. Check this out, the 007 version of Cesaro. Now that is a picture I wouldn't mind putting in as my champ picture or avatar for the game. This, in my opinion, if it was the game, would be the best Cesaro picture yet. Now, as you can see from the card design, this takes a few ideas from the current SummerSlam cards, where you've got this, black section at the bottom with the name at the bottom instead of the top. And also with the stats on the side instead of at the bottom like some of the tiers in the game. Now this is a legendary version of a Cesaro card, and that's because this design was created prior to the announcement that your tier would move over to Season 3 and you wouldn't be starting over. But this would be a cool card design for whatever new tier they introduce, or if they just introduce new cards to the legendary tier as well. Also, notice the two silver plates on the bottom right and top left corners of the card. I feel these could be used in the My Cards section when you're scrolling through your cards. Currently they've got, there's just this normal card outline when you're scrolling through your cards looking at them. I feel this would just look more premium for Season 3. Now, before I go ahead and talk about what I'd like to see from the new event cards, I'd like to go ahead and show you guys how some of the other superstars could look like with the same card design. And let's start it off with Apollo Crews, who I think has one of the worst WrestleMania pictures out there, but his SummerSlam picture though is a big improvement. I like that one. And then we've got John Cena, and moving on, we've got Big E. And alright, I requested this exact picture of Big E as a joke, and speaking of requests, I'd like to give a big shout out to Shandy, because I requested all of these cards from Shandy. He caught my attention when I saw the cards that he was making, and I thought they looked really good. So I went ahead, told him what I wanted to do with this video, and I needed some cool looking custom cards that he made for me, and he spent a ton of time on. So if you like any of these designs, or you just like custom cards, go ahead and check him out on Twitter. He makes some really cool designs, and he's just a really cool dude. So if you can do me a favor, check him out and follow him on Twitter. Anyways, for those of you who'd like to see what the card would look like with an animated background, bam, there you go, Sasha Banks with the moving background. Now, let's move on to what I'd like to see from the event cards, because those were the normal cards. When it comes to the event cards, one of the things I'd like to see more of is championship cards. Or not championship cards, but champion cards, I guess, with the superstars actually holding the championship. Some of the coolest looking cards in the game from Season 1 to Season 2 are the superstars holding the championships, but there's not too many of them. Actually, one of the rare ones is a Dolph Ziggler card actually holding the Intercontinental Championship. That was a cool picture, and to this day, a lot of people love the Seth Rollins picture, myself included. It's the only picture it's the second picture, well, the first picture to hold the WWE Championship, Roman Reigns being the second one. Actually, that one, he's holding the WWE Championship and Money in the Bank briefcase. And I'd like to see more of those. I remember one of the biggest disappointments in Season 2 was when they were about to have the Triple H versus Roman Reigns PCC. At the time, Triple H was the champion. And there's never been a card in Supercard where Triple H was actually holding a title. So a lot of people were looking forward to actually seeing the Triple H card holding the title. And a lot of people, myself included, were gonna go with Triple H if he was holding that championship in the card. And then come time for the PCC, it was just a Triple H card without the titles. Actually, I believe a Season 1 Triple H picture, just slightly, modified or photoshopped or whatever, into Season 2. And I know they've improved on that, actually. They've had more, cards with the championship lately. I mean, this recent PCC, we had Sasha Banks with the Women's Championship. And as you can see right here, this is Becky Lynch as an event card holding the Women's Championship. So I'd like to see the recent trend of the superstars holding the titles for event cards continue into Season 3. I'd like to see more of that, specifically for the event cards, because they're supposed to be superior to the normal cards. And speaking of more, here's a picture of AJ Styles holding the WWE Championship, another event card with the title, this time with the animated background. That's a card I'd like to see. Now, while on the topic of event cards, special cards, I'd like to see more unique designs, so that every single card in the same tier doesn't look the same. And one of the ways they could do this in Season 3 is with the Cruiserweights. Currently, they've got this theme going on with the Cruiserweights where everything is purple. The ropes are purple, the logo's purple, the championship is purple, the lights are purple while they're in the ring. So how about making the Cruiserweight cards separate those from the other cards by making them purple? Or if you don't want to do this with all the Cruiserweight cards, they could go ahead and do that just with the event Cruiserweight cards. And here's a perfect example of that, an event TJ Perkins card with the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, I know he's not the champion anymore, but this was created when he was still the champ. Now, this isn't the only different colored card that I'd like to see. You see, another thing that they have now that they didn't when Supercard initially released was the brand split. We've got the red brand and the blue brand. You guys see where I'm going with this, but actually before I show you guys the card, one of the things that Season 1 had is actually variations of the same card. It was the same card in the same tier. Sometimes the stats were a bit different, but you had like 2 Chris Jericho cards in the Survivor tier. You also had 2 Randy Orton cards and 2 Triple H cards. And they could go ahead and bring that back in Season 3, but go ahead and not only switch up the picture, but the card design itself, or the color of the card design. For instance, in addition to a normal Dean Ambrose card, they could have a SmackDown edition of the Dean Ambrose card, blue brand colored, or how about a Raw brand Finn Balor card with the red color, of course. And these don't need to be another version of a normal card, they could be event cards. I'm just a fan of as many unique designs as possible. And also, I'd like to see them add some new wrestlers to the game. For instance, Goldberg. I mean, with Season 3 coming out, with the 2K deal, and the return on TV, now is the perfect time to finally introduce some Goldberg cards. The game's been out for a couple years now, but we've never had a Goldberg card. I mean, we've even had Sting, and actually that to me is an indication that Goldberg is definitely possible. 2K had the deal, and they had Sting as the pre-order bonus. He came back on TV, and now the pre-order bonus this time around was Goldberg. He came back on TV. I think we'll see Goldberg in Season 3, and check out this badass Goldberg card right here. Love the colors that he used. We've never seen these colors actually on a Supercard card. And on top of that, the name at the bottom, there's an animation to it. I like that. And with the new tiers, since they're adding 3 new tiers, I'm thinking one of them has to be the Hall of Fame tier. I mean, they've got the Legendary tier, they've got WrestleMania. Hall of Fame just makes sense. And so if they go ahead and bring out a Goldberg Hall of Fame card, or even if they don't put out a Goldberg Hall of Fame card, here's an idea for the Hall of Fame cards, just to separate them from the normal cards. First off, the colors. For the last couple years now, WWE's Hall of Fame colors have been blue and gold. So the card could be themed around that. That could be the color for the cards. And to separate them, really separate them from the other cards, whenever you pro them, instead of getting that gold star, you could go ahead and get a Hall of Fame ring on the card instead to illustrate that it's a pro. Just an idea. So, that's pretty much it for my Supercard Season 3 wish list when it comes to the cards themselves. Let me know what you think. Let me know actually what you want to see when it comes to the cards for Supercard Season 3 in the comment section below. And I know a bunch of you guys have some good ideas. So if one of you has a really good idea, I'll go ahead and feature it in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can click the like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And with that said, I'm out. See ya.